Hello, welcome back, and this is chapter first, The Portrait of a Lady, written by Ch-1, and today I'm going to explain page number 4th, part 2 to you. So here we go. My grandmother always went to school with me because the school was attached to the temple. The author started living with grandmother because both the parents went to city because father had job there and mother went with father for some kind of settlement there. They wanted to settle there in the city. So he was left here until they got settled over there. And that's why he was there with grandmother, and grandmother always went to school with the author because the school was attached to a temple there. That is, school and temple were at the same place. The priest taught us the alphabet and the morning prayer. So there they were given two tasks. That is, they were given two lessons. One, the lesson on alphabet, and second, they were given the lesson on the prayer. Every day morning prayer was held there, and they were given the lesson on morning prayers. While the children sat in the rows on either side of the veranda, singing the alphabet or the prayer in a chorus, my grandmother sat inside reading the scripture. So there the children sat in rows on either side of veranda, that is, on the both side of veranda. So they sat there, they sang prayers. Either they sang prayers or the alphabet in chorus together. Together they recited either the prayer, say they sang the prayer, or in the other case they recited the alphabet. But grandmother sat inside the temple, since all the children studied there, and so she sat inside the temple, and there she read the scriptures. When we had both finished, we would walk back together, and when they had finished their lessons for the day, both of them would start back home from there. This time the village dogs would meet us at the temple door, and while they would be returning home from school, or say from the temple, or they would be say accompanied by the dogs. Dogs would be waiting outside the temple every morning, and when their lessons were over, these dogs would also follow these two from behind. They followed us to our home, growling and fighting with each other for the chapatis we threw to them. Now they would be following back to their home. These dogs would start following them from the temple door to their house, and on the way they would be given chapatis, stale chapatis that the granny would carry every morning. And while they would throw, or they would growl, that is, they would have aggressive posture towards the other dogs, because they would be say fighting for the chapatis. So they would be growling, that is aggressively barking or shouting or taking aggressive posture against the other dog, and in this way fighting also sometimes with each other. When my parents were comfortably settled in the city, they sent for us, and when they were fully settled there, they sent for both of them. That is, they called both of them to join the family there in the city. That was a turning point in our relationship, and that was the point where the relationship took a different turn. Here they were very much friendly, but there it took a different turn. Although we shared the same room, my grandmother no longer came to school with me. Again, here too, they shared the same room. They were given a common room where both of them lived. So, the thing is, though both of them shared the same room, but the thing here is that she did not accompany him to school. I used to go to an English school in a motor bus, and the question is, why didn't she accompany him to school? Why didn't she go to his school? It's because he read here in the city. He went to an English medium school, and there school bus service was there, and school bus used to come and pick him from the place. That is, the bus service was there. He was picked and dropped at the same place. There were no dogs in the streets, and she took to feeding sparrows in the courtyard of our city house. And since she didn't go to school, or she didn't come out of the house, so the dogs. She had no chance getting the dogs, meeting the dogs, or finding the dogs and carrying them food. And that's why she made some changes in her routine, in her schedule. Not that way, but a little bit change was made here, and now she used to feed the sparrows in the courtyard only. As the years rolled by, we saw less of each other. For some time, she continued to wake me up and get me ready for school. So, as the years passed by, they saw less of each other. That is, there was a little time to spend together for both of them, because he was now in a school, he was young, and so he remained busy with his studies. Though Granny continued to wake him up and get him ready for school, yet there was not much of interaction between the two. When I came back, she would ask me what the teacher had taught me, and when he returned from school, she would ask him what the teacher taught him that day. So this is all for now. Thank you.